So hi everyone, I'm Nanette Sene. I'm CEO and co-founder of Juno Technologies. And at Juno, we are tackling a problem that affects 80% of women, menstrual pain. A pain so intense that for many it results in fainting and vomiting every month. Yet the solutions on the market are limited. We mainly have two options. Medication, which has side effects and in 25% of cases does not bring any relief to the patient, or the alternative is a heating bag. It's not portable, and again, we have limited effectiveness. So for an active woman who wants to stop or reduce her use of medication, there is nothing, and that's where Juno comes in. What we've created is a wearable device that alleviates menstrual pain instantly, with no side effect, no medication. It is a connected product and it reduces the pain by 79% on average. It is meant to be used anywhere. So you can put it under your clothes and you can use it at home, at work, on the go, and it's very discreet. The product, as I mentioned, is connected. So we have integrated the power of heat with electrical stimulation at the same time, on the same spot, into one connected device that really fits into your lifestyle. And you put it directly on your skin under your clothes. So I mentioned the efficiency of the product. We conducted the first pilot study last fall with a gynecologist, and on average, we saw a reduction of 79%, which means that if you start at 7.13 out of 10, after 1 hour of using the device only, you reach 1.5 out of 10 on average. So now our next step, we are actually conducting a clinical trial with the biggest hospital in the province in Quebec. It's called SHRM. And it will allow us to further assess the device effectiveness, but it also will result in a medical publication. And this study will also include patients who suffer from endometriosis, and it is not mandatory for FDA or Health Canada clearance. However, for all the reasons I mentioned, it's something that we're doing that we think is important. So with our product, we target women who have severe menstrual pain, including those with medical conditions. We can segment that into 3 groups. The first group is those who have menstrual pain, but no underlying medical conditions. So that's about 34% of cases. The second group is just women who have endometriosis, which is 15% of women all over the world. So that's a 15%. And then you have so many other medical conditions that will create menstrual or pelvic pain, for example, PCOS, fibroids, and polyps. And what all of those have in common is the severe pain they suffer from every month. Sometimes it's multiple weeks a month. Also, they spend a lot of money and time and energy into pain management, and they miss a lot of work or school or activities because of the pain. So the idea is to sell one device that costs $200. It's rechargeable, so it's a one-time purchase and it lasts years. So here you recharge it here. But we also have recurring revenue because we have an adhesive gel that lasts a couple of hours at the back of the product and it sticks on your skin. So once it stops sticking on your skin, you can change it. I mentioned that the device is connected. We have a companion app that's called Juno Plus that allows you to remotely control your device. It's very useful when you want to change the settings in public. And eventually this app, Juno Plus, will grow into a paid app that offers advanced device control, symptom tracking, and a supportive community. So we are in a $14.4 billion market that is vastly dominated by medication, and our goal is to capture 5% of that total addressable market in a span of 10 years. When it comes to device for menstrual pain, only a few are medical device. And what makes a medical device is that it is a treatment that needs to be proven as safe and effective to be used. We are a class 2 medical device. So in that space, we have a few competitors, but we are unique and better. We are the only one combining multiple treatment, and that has shown greater relief, pain reduction. Also, the product is wireless. It is app controlled, so it's more user-friendly. You have a better user experience. We are also the only one pushing for transparent clinical evidence on our product. We already have filed for 2 patents, 1 industrial design, and 1 trademark. We are also obviously the only one conducting trials on endometriosis, since we are the only one doing clinical trials. So our goal is really to position Juno as the first medical device that is supported by clinical data for menstrual pain. In order to do so, we are conducting our clinical trial. We are being tested and recommended by gynecologists. We are hoping for clearance by FDA and Health Canada in the next couple of months. And as I mentioned, we are going towards, we have patents on the way. Now, when it comes to the go-to-market, we have a lot of traction from the B2B sector. So we are working with hospital clinics. We have partnership with organizations for women's medical conditions such as fibroids. We are working with sports team. We also have interest from international sales. And at this stage, the only one we do not have is pharmacies, but we would like to include as a channel to get our product into pharmacies. The product, however, is also a product that needs to be distributed easily and easily accessible to patients. We have already a waiting list of people that want to buy the product. So we are planning to make the product available in B2C, so selling it online without a prescription. We're working also with the MSSS, Ministère de la Santé, et basically the Ministry of Health in Quebec, to make the product reimbursable for lower income patients. I mentioned that we are class 2. So we are class 2. We are doing a 510K submission with predicate for FDA and Health Canada. So our hope is to sell the device. Obviously, we have the physical product that lasts years. We have gels, as I mentioned, that does recurring revenue. You buy a gel every couple of hours of use, so about 10 hours. And eventually, we plan on having revenue coming from the app. So not the first year, but starting the second year. So Juno was founded by Leon and I because of a need of and also an understanding of the problem, the fact that menstrual pain is a real problem and there is not a lot on the market right now, but also because we are both women engineers, so we understand products and we have an interest in building product for women's health. So both of our background is in engineering. I'm a mechanical engineer, she's an electrical engineer, and we also have a master's in business development and technology management, which has been very helpful into building this company. And today we have the support of many other in the company. So we have obviously a lot of advisor, IP strategists, marketing specialists, developers, software developers, regulatory experts, designers, and many more. And we were also able to secure 850K in non-dilutive funds in the past 2 years because we've been registered for 2 years. So that's just non-dilutive, and we have the support of many key players in the ecosystem, including the NRC, Johnson & Johnson, J Labs, Santec, and many more. And we also received a couple of awards in the past couple of months. So this summer we won MedTech, the MedTech prize at Effervescence, which is the biggest conference when it comes to health and life sciences in Canada, also Startup Fest, and a couple of others. So what we've done so far is we completed the first version of the product. We use it for a pilot study. We filed for a patent. Right now we're raising our first pre-seed. We are preparing for the commercial version of the product. So we are pre-manufacturing. We are also in the clinical trial phase. We are working towards FDA clearance, and all of that brings us to our first sale, hopefully at the end of next summer. So at the moment, we're raising 500K in dilutive funds, so from investors, and that will be used to match. We also are prospecting another 500K coming in from the non-dilutive funds. So that's 1 million for the year 2025. And that will be used for clinical data, for DFM manufacturing, so also regulatory clearance, and in order to prepare for our first sales next year. So basically, the raise we're doing is to match the non-dilutive funds. So this first product is just the start of our mission to improve women's health using highly innovative technologies, and our impact is very clear. We are solving the problem gynecologists see the most every day. Thank you.
Great job, Nanette. Perfect timing. 10 minutes. So great job. You've still got some room, but beautiful. Okay, let's start with our feedback. I'll invite Hilary to share first this time, if you're feeling ready.
Yep, happy to, and I'll be quick. Nanette, great to see you again. It's amazing to see the progress you've made since I saw you pitch this summer at Startup Fest. So very, very cool. In a very short amount of time, you've done a lot. And just so you know, I've heard a lot of buzz about you through investor networks. So sometimes you don't hear that, but like a lot of people have said, you know, hey, have you seen what Juno's doing? Have you seen the progress they've made? And that feedback doesn't always come back. So I want you to hear that.
Because you only get, you know, oh, you should improve this, you should improve
Yeah,
this.
exactly. Exactly. So I think that bodes really well. I have a sister who recently got diagnosed with endometriosis at 45. So this is very real. And so my question to you, and it's really around the data integration as you prepare for the launch. I just texted her and said, what app do you use to track your pain? Right. And so she said she uses ND. And my question is like, how do you build, and that was what her doctor recommended to her. So how do you build that data set as you prepare for future customers?
Yes, that's great. Yeah, I'm surprised that it's a different one, because usually when we ask, it's always the top two flowing through, but you said ND? And okay, great. Yeah, well, actually our app right now is not so much focused on the cycle tracking compared to other apps. It's really on the pain management. So for example, you use the app and at the end you have like a report. So the report will say you use those parameters, this is how long you use it. So in an ideal world, we will do a partnership with those type of apps. So the same way, I believe Flow or Clue, I think it's Flow, they did a partnership with Oura Ring. So sometimes you see hardware company doing partnership with those apps that track the cycle. So tracking cycle is not our main focus, but we do have a few big companies that already do it. So we would need to find the right partners to work with them, because our focus is not necessarily into those features, and our goal is not necessarily also to go more in depth in those. So that would be in our ideal world. And so our tracking that we're doing is mainly regarding how you're using the device for how long, in which parameters, and what are the effects on your pain. And those are features that the other app obviously are not doing at the moment.
Yeah, and just so you know, my feedback is coming from the fact that I look at a lot of hardware devices, and it's really hard to invest in pure hardware. And so, like, we will say, even as a fund, we would love to invest in pure hardware, but we can't because we haven't seen the success of the hardware software integration. So I share that with you very transparently, because that's actually feedback that comes to us from our LPs, is that you have to be like, we have our own stakeholders, right? And so they're saying to us, you can't invest in pure hardware. There has to be some form of a software integration. And I know that that's hard to hear, but it also is it's a reflection of the fact that hardware is still an emerging sector in Canada. And so it's like, how do you de-risk that? And so that would be, I guess, my key question to you is, I hear you in why you're choosing to use software the way that you are. And I also recognize that it is a way of attracting audiences before they get your device. And I'll just share this because I've had this deep conversation with people who have endo, not just my sister. The pain levels are not just in menstrual cycles. When the pain, and you know this, when the pain is so bad, it's actually not about menstrual cycles. Sometimes it's like outside of menstrual cycles. So that's why I thought the ND data is interesting, because it's not for the generic audience. It's for those people who've like gone so far down the pain path that their doctors are now referring them to data points so that they can track and figure out kind of the best practices. I don't know if that's a market, but I think it's a really important one to be thinking through, is how do you find those people who are early in their pain journey, get them into your software so that one day they can hopefully take on your device. I don't know if that's a consideration. I don't know if that's helpful, but I hopefully the context of why I'm asking the question is useful.
And 100%. And from the beginning, basically, when it comes to the software, our focus was always pain pain management and data on pain management. So we have studied a few of those apps that really focus on pain management, but there is not a lot. So it's good to know what patients who suffer from endometriosis are using. And is it just a quick question? Is she based in Canada? Just to know if she's yes, in Canada.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
But I did my MBA in the States, and so I also have lots of American friends. And so even if you're like doing clinical studies, etc., if you can help bring some of your networks into that in those early stages before the product's released, it may actually help you drum up a lot of interest and collect some of that data. I'm sure you're already thinking of that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Wonderful. Loved it.
One other small piece of feedback. I can't get the sense of how big your device is. Is it possible to put like a body or like bodies of all sizes to get a sense of its size?
Okay. But it's about the size of a phone, a bit bigger than a phone, but an iPhone. Okay, put a photo of a body. Yeah.
Love it. And I just want to say, I love the strong language you're using that in your pitch. You used like, we're better. This is why we're better, and we're the best, and we're doing. I love the strong language, and also the highlight of the team members. I think you extended that a little bit in this pitch, and it was fantastic. So I just want to comment on that because I've seen it.
First time I just one sentence, so now I try to add more.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, Kelly.
Well, first of all, as a woman, this obviously is an interesting topic, which I'm gonna compliment your graphics. I think visually, and visuals are really important. I do want to stress that having a visually comprehensible, a nice flow, that feeling of like connection and calmness. So visually, your deck is really wonderful. I'm always curious about the name, so I would have loved to know why you came up with the name Juno. You can either begin or end with it.
It's Juno is the goddess of women, and it is in Roman goddess of women. It is said that every woman has a Juno because Juno is a guardian angel for each woman. So,
I mean, there you go. I got all the feels. Just if you have 20 seconds to add that, that's great. When you were framing the problem immediately, there's an emotional connection. But as investors, there's got to be a financial connection. I went to your website while you were talking, and I was like, oh, clearly pain has an impact, right? A cost impact, lost productivity, impact on your job, maybe even cost. That did not come through at all to me. So I'm a woman, so I get it, but you're not always going to pitch to women. So they might not get it. They might think, we're all women here. It's just a period. Like, what's the big deal? So I really think spending time on framing the problem as like a societal impact, there's behavioral impacts. I'm sure there's mental health impacts. I actually do work in the behavioral health space. So that, I mean, you could really tap into that, and you are addressing, right? It does have an impact on mental health and family and job and product. I'm sure women are losing their jobs because, they're calling all that. Yeah. That is really important to emphasize.
That's the first cause of missed work or school.
Okay. I would really double down on that. That's huge because that's the cost benefit. I would say the competitor slide was also really helpful, and immediately my brain went to data, because data is really important. And then my curiosity was around just that privacy and your understanding of privacy, and adhering to making sure that you're whatever. I don't know, you're selling into Canada, US, both?
Canada and US, yes. Okay.
So just your awareness of, privacy considerations, if there's a login and all that. I think the data piece is really important. I'm sure you're doing it anyway, but I do think that's a big almost like a value prop for you is there's going to be data in there that's valuable to the person. What can they do with that data? There's probably history, so that would be interesting. I had a note here. might not be in the right order. Oh, go to market strategy. Okay. So I was a little not confused. I was like, that's a lot of different strategies, right? So you have B2B, you have B2C, you have reimbursement in its own, like I've got some experience there too. It's ambitious. Clearly you're doing the right things, but that's a lot. And immediately I went, ooh, I don't know how you get to that first sale if you've got all these different. So I didn't make the connection between your go-to-market strategies. I'd like more clarity on, are you doing them all in parallel? There's probably some prioritization you need to do. Like, I'm going to tackle this first, and in parallel, we're going to do this. And then you have in your revenue projections, you have first sales, but I don't know if that's B2B or B2C. It's okay to have, actually it's great to have multiple pathways, but it did confuse me. I couldn't really make the connection, and there was a lot. And then just trying, how are you going to get there? So the more go-to-market strategies you have, I think you're going to have to spend more time explaining how you actually intend to get there. And I think the reimbursement one to me was stuck out just because I know it is a little bit tricky. And then as a B2C, I was curious about, you had this range of like the price point, and I'm like, and that kind of confused me a little bit too, because it was a pretty wide price point. So then how are you actually basing your financials if you've got such a broad range? It just, the math didn't work for me. There's a big difference between, I don't know, was it 40 to 200? There's a big difference between a $40 sale and a $200 sale.
Oh, okay. So the sale price is always $200, but I mean, you're getting reimbursed, and it only costs you $40
Okay.
But I mean, not it's, yeah, the price point doesn't change. It's just that it costs you $40 instead of 200 because you get reimbursed most of it.
Got it. Yeah, I think that, yeah, because that would solidify the confidence in the revenue projections. And you could maybe talk to others for advice. It's not a bad idea too to look at different, the sales. Maybe you have different sales lines, and you go like, maybe we're gonna get 20% from here, 40 from here.
You have a slide with numbers, like how do we sell the first 1,000 units for like 500
yeah.
So I could add that slide. That's slide 1,000.
And then I would say, I just had one, your thank you. I actually echo what Katie said. It was like, there was so much confidence. You were like, we're better. We're doing all these great things. We've won these awards. And then you ended, and I was like, oh, it was like this thank you with your contact information. And I felt like that would have been a great opportunity for you to do something really bold and gutsy, right? Maybe you just say, I'm not going to figure that out for you, but I think there's a real opportunity to leave with something really impactful. Yeah, that would be my advice, because it was almost like this.
Yeah.
And it's really impactful. So maybe I'll leave it to you, but there's some space there to leave a potential investor with a key statement. So it could be, invest in us, and the cost savings of this, or the impact on women is this, something, or reinforce your statement, something really bold and memorable.
Okay. Perfect.
Love it. Oh, perfect timing. It's 12 o'clock. So we've taken us to the very last minute.
Oh, awesome.
Beautiful way to conclude. Thank you so much, Kelly and Hilary. Fantastic job, Alina and Nanette. I can't believe this is our last pitch practice. I'm sad, but I'm so excited because really it's been fabulous to see the evolution of your decks, and great job today. And again, thank you, Kelly and Hilary. Your time is really appreciated, and your input is valued, and our founders put it to work. So thank you so much.
It was good to meet you guys. Good luck, and just be confident. You guys know your space, and you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Love it.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.